Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first elementary grade. Our textbook is Week 1, and today inshallah we will cover Unit 4, Evaluation. And this will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to review the whole unit and starting with each lesson. So the first lesson we did cover with this unit was called the talk time on pages 26 and 27. And our objectives with this lesson were to identify and talk about food, animal, and clothes, and also to talk about likes and dislikes, and also to read aloud simple words and sentences. So the first thing we did with this exercise is that, or with this unit, we listened to conversation between two friends, where each one of them talk about the food that they like. So we said that if you want to know someone favorite food, we can start our question by, do you like? Do you like? So for example, if you can think of any food and you want someone to tell you what the food he or she likes, you start your question with, do you like? Do you like pizza? Do you like macaroni? Do you like salad? Do you like fruit? This is how we start, or this is how we know whether the person likes or do not like a certain food. So we had listened to this conversation that starts with this girl asking her friend, do you like pizza? And we learned that if we like something, we would say, yes, I like. And we learned also, if we don't like something, we would say, no, I don't like. Also, we show more than one example with this. And even I encouraged you to try to practice such questions in pair, whether with your family member or your classmate or even a friend of yours. And after this, try to use these phrases, I like and I don't like, and you can link it with any food you can think of. So it is important that we said when you say I like, you need to put a smile on your face. I like pizza. I like fruit. I like salad. And if you don't like, you'll have face like this. I don't like pizza. I don't like fruit. I don't like macaroni. So we said that it is important that we know these phrases. I like when you love something, and I don't like when you don't like something. So here we showed a couple of examples of different foods and how to like and don't like something. So let's remind ourselves and try to practice saying these different food with two phrases, I like and I don't like. So I'm going to say it and I would like you to say it after me. So the first food we have is macaroni. Say with me, I like macaroni. I don't like macaroni. I like pizza. I don't like pizza. I like salad. I don't like salad. I like onions. I don't like onions. I like kebsa. I don't like kebsa. I like soup. I don't like soup. And this was our lesson or the first lesson in this unit, to learn or to be able to talk about the things that you like and the things that you don't like. After this, we had the other lesson, which is the rhythms and sounds on pages 28 and 29. And our objectives with this lesson were to recognize intonation patterns of statements and questions, Also, ask and respond to questions with personal information using these pronoun like or verbs to be, like am, is, are, and also to talk about food, animal, and clothes. So if you remember, we did have this interesting chant about the cookie jar chant, and where we did listen to this chant and we learned that how to ask questions in this chant, how to ask questions and also how to answer them. So just a quick reminder of this chant. Let's listen to it one more time. Let's listen to this chant, and after this we can explain the questions we had in this chant. So listen and chant the cookie jar chant. Who took the cookies from the cookie jar? Labib took the cookies from the cookie jar. Who? Me? Yes, you. Not me. Then, who took the cookies from the cookie jar? So we said that with this chant, we learned that how to ask questions about someone or about a person. We said that if we want to know who did something, a person, we start our questions with the word who. We start our question with the word who. And if someone wants to talk about himself, he would use the word me. So Labib, when we said that Labib took the cookie jar, Labib says who? Me. So me is the word that we use to refer to ourselves. Also, if we want to learn or we want to know who is the person, if it's not Labib or someone else, also we use the same one or the same word, which is the word who. Who, if we want to know a person name. So, after this, what we did is we did introduce ourselves to a game that we called the cookie jar game. And how we play this is that we're going to clap and chant, and after this we're going to have 5 different people. Maybe you can choose your classmates or your family members or even friend of yours. And what you need to do is to put a number on each of them. So here, for example, this boy has number 1 on his shirt. So you can think of different 5 or different other 4 people and put on them a number. And how we play this game is by starting chanting by choosing a number, any one of them, number from 1 to 5. For example, if we said that number 2 took the cookies from the cookie jar, and number 2 will answer as Labib did. He would say or she would say, who? Me. And now she would say, it's not me. And then she will choose or he will choose a different number. And then the chant will start over again. So this is how we play this game. It's very interesting. It helps us to learn how to ask questions with who, and also learn to memorize this chant and to make it more interesting. So after the rhythms and sound, we had the lesson words in action on pages 30 and 31. And our objectives with this lesson were to identify and talk about food, animal, and clothes, and also to utter simple words and number, and read and match words to photos or drawings. So here you go. What we did do in this lesson is that we got introduced to different words. And what we said that it is important that we point at each word and we say it together. So we did learn about different words or new words, and also we say it together after pointing to each one. So let's do a quick exercise. Let's do it again. Let's try to point at each of these words and say it again. So the first word we have is apple, pizza, salad, soup, orange, rice, sandwich, apricot, capsa. So now these were the words that are the singular words. Now it is time to practice what do we call the plural words. So before we talk about only one apple and we said apple. But now since we do have three of them, now we would say these are apples. Apples. You see here that here we added the letter S because these are three, not one apple. So with only one, we would say apple. But with three, we say apples. Apples. So here you go. Number one, these are apples. And number two, here we don't have only one pizza. Here we do have three of them. So we would say these are pizzas. Pizzas. Here we add the letter S because we have three of them. Pizzas. And number three, salads. Salads. And number four, here we have soup. Soup. Number five, sandwiches. Sandwiches. And here we add S because we have three of them. Sandwiches. And number six, apricots. Apricots. So we also learned that sometimes we do have words that are countable, which means we can count them. For example, we can say how many sandwiches we have. 1, 2, 3. So now we can count them, and if we can't count them, here we add S, the same as apples. Here we can count apples, so we added S. But sometimes we have words that we cannot count. We cannot count. And these words like soup and rice. So if we can count them, 1, 2, 3, then they are countable words. We add S to the countable words. But if we can't count them, here in this case, we leave them as they are, like soup and rice. So here, for example, let's count from 1 to 10. Let's try to count from 1 to 10, and so we can also try to count back from 10 to 1. Let's start with this one. 1 orange. 1 orange. 2 apples. 2 apples. 3 pizzas. 3 pizzas. 4 sandwiches. 4 sandwiches. 5 carrots. 5 carrots. 6 onions. 6 onions. 7 bananas. 7 bananas. 8 cherries. 8 cherries. 9 cookies. 9 cookies. 10 potatoes. 10 potatoes. So here we go. We did learn the countable and the uncountable words, and also we did count from 1 to 10. Now the last lesson we had in this unit was phonics on pages 32 and 33, and our objectives with this lesson were to make the sounds of the letters O, P, Q, and R, and also to write the letters from A to R. So the first thing we did is that we got introduced to different words starts with these letters. Words like octopus, 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 that starts with letter O. Also the other word we did learn, which is parrot, 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 that starts with letter P, parrot. And also number 3, quilt, quilt that starts with letter Q. And finally, rabbit. Rabbit that starts with letter R. And what we did is that it's important that when we learn new words or new letters, we know the words of each of these letters. So not only we got introduced to this word, but even we did practice writing, tracing these letters. So in this exercise, what we did is that we did trace each letter, each of these letters, and after this we write them down on our own. And it is important because tracing helps us to write down properly and write down these words and never missing writing down these letters. So we try practice with letter O, and also we practice with letter P, where we trace letter P and write it as well, and even with the letter Q, where, as you can see here, we did trace all of these letters, and at the end we write our own version or our own copy with this one. And even with letter R, we did the same, where we trace letter R more than 3 or 5 times, and after this, at the end of this letter, we write also our own copy with it. So after this, we had this exciting exercise where we have 4 different words that missing 1 letter. And what we did, we remind ourselves of the words we learned in the beginning of this lesson, which were the octopus that starts with O, and also parrot that starts with P, and also quilt that starts with Q, and rabbit that starts with letter R. So this is how we learn and memorize the words, and also we did write the missing letter of this exercise. And after this, the final thing we did is that we had this amazing drawing where we did draw this and color this drawing, and after this we counted how many arms does this octopus have. And after this, here we looked at this word and we wrote down the missing letter of the word octopus. So this is, my dear student, all the revision we have for Unit 4. I hope that you enjoy the lesson, and I wish to see you next time, inshallah. Thank you very much.